Hello everyone, it's Alan Nygren here, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, here to talk to you today about our wonderful virtual film festival that we're going to be holding from September 13th to October 25th on select Friday and Saturday and Sunday days. The great thing about the virtual film festival is that there will not be a specific time where we will be holding the film festival. It'll be a video on demand on specific days. So on September 13th, when we have our opener on Sunday, you can start watching it at 12:01 in the morning, and you can watch it all day as many times as you like. And if you start watching it, let's say, at 7 o'clock on Sunday, September 13th, then you don't want to finish it, you can finish it the next day. You have another 24 hours to finish watching it once you start watching. So that's going to be the way that we're going to be showing the films to you this fall. Because of COVID-19, Rutgers University is not having any in-person events on campus, and almost all of the instruction is going to be held remotely. So the Fall New Jersey Film Festival for 2020 is going to be virtual as well. So there's going to be lots of really interesting films that we're going to be showing to you. There were 842 submissions from throughout the world, and we're going to be showing the creme de la creme, the best 41 of those films. They were selected by a jury that consisted of academics like myself, students. We have a wonderful crew of interns. We have about 15 of them, and they sit and evaluate each one of these films. Each one of these films is evaluated, and there's a sheet that's filled out for each one of them, and each film is ranked from 0 to 10, lots of comments submitted. And the ones that score 7s, 8s, 9s usually make it into our public screenings. So they were the ones that selected the 41 films that we are showing. We also have previous winners that were judges, as well as members of the press. So we have a very nice and sophisticated jury that selected these films that we're going to be presenting to you. The films, again, are going to be available virtually. So that means you want more information. You go to our website, which is www.njfilmfest.com. And when you get to that homepage, you'll see on the left-hand side in red, it says New Jersey Film Festival Fall 2020 Schedule. You click on that link. When you get to that page, you'll see highlighted in blue to click on that link, which will send you to our virtual film festival pages. And there you can check out everything that we're going to be showing. We've partnered with eventive.org. They're going to be our virtual film festival provider. They do a wonderful job. Tickets are $12 for each screening. I highly recommend purchasing a pass. An early bird pass is $75. Once we start to get into September, it'll go up to $100. The $75 will let you watch 14 different programs, so you'll save more. It's less than half the cost of seeing each one of these. So if you're going to see 4 or 5 of these programs, get the pass. Then you get to see everything you want and more. So again, all that information is at the Eventive site. Well, let's talk a little bit about the movies that we have here. Our very first film is getting its North American premiere, and it's a film by Sean Katz, who lives in Australia. But his documentary, Underground Inc., is a really great film that focuses on the rise and fall of alternative rock. And it focuses on bands that took place at around the same time as Nirvana. And so these underground bands like Helmet, Monster Magnet, Fishbone are focused on in this documentary, and it's really, really fascinating ins and outs of the music business and how it was going on in the 90s on the alternative scene in the United States. There's going to be a really special introduction done by Sean Katz and the producer, and there's also going to be a Q&A session with him that will be available to anybody who watches the movie, who purchases a ticket. There'll be a lot of those for many of these movies. You'll get the added perks. Normally when we would do this at Rutgers, you would be able to have a Q&A with the filmmaker. So we're now doing that virtually as well. On Sunday, September 20th, we have a really wonderful program called Super Shorts 1. a series of short films that we got from around the world. The very first one is by a Jersey guy. His name is Tim Disbro. He's from Annandale. And this one is called Yet Another, which focuses on a little boy who's doing some mischievous things. It's a really sweet 3-minute film. Happily Everglades After by Daniel Cassell. He's from Brooklyn, New York. This film is a really nice animation with an environmental and an ecological side to it, which focuses on the Everglades. I really like this animation, as I did this one too, The Winter by Zin Lin, who's from Australia. And his film is a paint-on animation. It's really quite beautiful. One more animation for you, Nothing to Say by Aubrey Mintz, is a really wonderful film by a filmmaker from Toronto, Canada. And this one is narrated by Danny Aiello. Rest in peace, Danny. One of the last things he probably did before he passed away. But this is a really wonderful film that features animals. Really quite beautiful. She Who Invites is an experimental film by Sarah L. Bakuri. She's from British Columbia, Canada as well. We have Peanut by Andy Mills. He's from Brooklyn, New York. And this film is about a man who's been diagnosed with an abnormally small brain. Yes, he is a knucklehead, and this film is pretty crazy. Azrahel by Harry Valentine. He's from LA, from California. And this is a kind of horror short that I really like. It's really quite interesting. The Red Marsh is by Drake Woodall. He's from Brooklyn, and he's a winner from one of our previous festivals. His film Soot won Best Short a couple of years ago, and he's back with The Red Marsh, which is a follow-up film for him. Snow Globe by Timothy Rush is from Los Angeles, California also, and this is a really amazing special effects movie about a young woman trapped in a frozen wasteland. Really quite amazing film. Carliner's film, The Bronze Fly, he's from Dijon, France, and his film is about a painter who gives 3 magic pills to a visually impaired girl. And there's a lot of magic in this film, too. I think you'll enjoy it. William Striebling's Speed of Time is hilarious. He's from West Hollywood, California, and that wraps up the first Super Shorts program. We have another amazing setup. On Friday, September 25th, we'll be doing a series of experimental films. And Motion at a Distance by Lindsay Packer, Andrew Yong Hon Lee. They're from Brooklyn, New York. It's an abstract animation. And then Dysphoria by Eric Butler is a pretty crazy experimental film. He's from Orlando, Florida. Nightbirds and Ghost Crabs by Robert Sickles. He's from Walla Walla, Washington. His film is about people who have difficulty sleeping, and there's imagery that's put to their thoughts. Really amazing and interesting film. Slideshows from the Peanut Gallery by Paul Rogers. He's from Lexington, Kentucky. One of my favorites. A really amazing film that focuses on animating still images. I couldn't take my eyes off of this one, and the soundtrack is really kind of creepy. Patience Copy by Patrick Tarrant. He's from London, England. Also another interesting experimental film. Hunan Wang's Bubble, from Beijing, China. The jury just absolutely went crazy for this film. They gave it 9s. It's very rare for a film to get 9s from so many jurors, so that tells you it's pretty good. Knock 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 by Arum Choi. She's from Seoul, South Korea, is another experimental film that you should see. And Bella by Seth Meyers and Sarah Stolar. They're from Dubuque, Iowa. Is really one of the nicest dance experimental films I've ever seen. And the lead actress is very, very compelling. That wraps up the experimental shorts program on the 25th. Then on Saturday, September 26th, our first feature film, a really, really beautifully shot, amazingly acted and directed film by Stephen Mills. He's from LA, California. This film focuses on relationships in New York City at the turn of this 21st century. It's been compared to Woody Allen and to Fellini, very surreal elements, and I think it's very, very interesting, easy to watch film that'll make you think a lot about your own relationship. Stephen's film is called Love Is Not Love. Friday, October 2nd, our second documentary, The Palindromists by Vincent Clement. He's from Long Beach, California, and if you know what a palindrome is, right, the word wow is a palindrome. because it's spelled the same way backwards and forwards. So there's actually a competition where people come up with the most interesting palindromes. And so this is a documentary about palindromes and about this competition, and is highly sought after. Already a bunch of tickets sold for that one. So make sure you don't miss it on Friday, October 2nd. On Saturday, October 3rd, another Super Shorts program, and I'll tell you a little bit about these films. Thunderstruck by Tori Delahunt. She's from New York, New York. It's about a young woman who she's in an abusive relationship that she desperately needs to get out of. Pretty hard-hitting film. Niu Niu by Ji Wang from San Francisco is also a very, very interesting film that has experimental touches. Ghost of a Chance by Manes Dürer. He's from Vienna, Austria. Focuses on a relationship of a young working class couple, American couple, and they're going through some drama in their lives. My Dinner with Werner by Maverick Moore focuses on it's kind of a quasi-fictional docudrama on Werner Herzog. Really interesting film, also scored pretty high by our judges. Thin Walls by Nick Kanalakis. He's from New York, New York, and this is a really sweet film about an aspiring novelist who moves into an apartment, and she finds out that her next-door neighbor is an obsessive cello player, a cellist. But it's a love story, you'll see. It's very sweet. How to Say I Love You at Night is also a love story by Andre Lushtika. Sorry, Andre. He's from New York, New York, and that rounds out our Super Shorts 2 program on October 3rd. On October 4th, another short program, but this one's all documentary films. The Hustle is Real by Thomas Strout is a film about DJing. And then Islander by Derek Patusek is about documenting a life on the Jersey Shore. Kind of, you'll see. And then Karaoke League is about this competition where people do karaoke singing. And Ashes to Ashes by Taylor Reese and Renan Öztürk, they're from Park City, Utah, is about Wilfred Rembrandt, the only surviving of a lynching. And he's also a Star Wars fanatic. This is one of my favorite films, one of my favorite documentaries we're showing. You should just definitely check it out. You'll fall in love with Winfred. That's on October 4th. Then on Friday, October 9th, we're doing a documentary by David Scott Kessler. It's called The Pine Barrens. Yes, the New Jersey Pine Barrens. A really amazing documentary. Then on Saturday, October 10th, a very timely documentary by Carolyn Jones. She's from Brooklyn. In Case of Emergency focuses on nurses, how they have to deal with everything that takes place in the emergency room. And yes, there's footage about how they have to deal with COVID-19 that they added to this film, because originally it was almost finished, and then they had to go back and shoot what was going on in the emergency room. An amazing film. The opening sequence is just, it's just great. You got to go see this film. Sunday, October 11th, two films with a kind of Jewish theme. The Covenant is by Adam Baruch. He's from London, England. Focuses on a concentration camp survivor who wants to get back at everybody that turned him into the concentration camp. So he wants to poison the German water filtration system. Very interesting short film. Followed by Ludi Boken's Nelson. This is from Tel Aviv, Israel. About it's a saga of an Israeli soldier who kind of goes AWOL. You'll see also a very interesting feature film. Kind of rounding the bend here, we have a wonderful feature on Friday, October 16th. Ines and Doug and Kira by Julia Coates. And then we have another great program on Saturday, October 17th, featuring Orko Mukherjee's Turtle Island, a very compelling coming-of-age drama. The lead actress in this film is really wonderful. And then the final film will be showing by Takashi Kushida from Tokyo, Japan, Women of the Photographs. Check out the rest of the lineup online. Go to njfilmfest.com, click on Fall 2020 schedule, then click on the link that's on that page. That'll send us to our virtual site, and you can check out all the wonderful films, descriptions, pictures, and trailers and other things there to give you more of a taste of what's going to be taking place. I want to thank EBTV for helping us get the word out, and hope to see you guys in person in the spring. Take it easy.